Ring the bells, this time I mean it. Bid the hatred fare thee well. Give back the pieces of my Jesus. Send your counterfeits to hell. Bang the drums, this means war, but not the kind you're waiting for. We say mercy won't be rationed here. It's what we're fighting for.
All is fair in love and war, then what the hell is love and even for? If we can sing it loud enough, we'll keep on adding voices up.
Ring the bells, ring the bells, ring the bells, ring the bells. Move your feet, you tiny people. You've been hiding for so long behind your statues and your steeples. Does that hit too close to home? Well, I got faith to move a mountain and watch that mountain move. It's time the words to fall like thunder, sounds of justice breaking through.
If all is fair in love and war, then what the hell is love and even for? Word laughs and the martyrs sing, but love breaks through the cavalry.
Ring the bells, ring the bells, ring the bells, ring the bells. You call me boy instead of son, and I ain't the only one. Was in the throne room of a kingdom where I found that I belong. Well, I ain't scared to face a fortress, I've seen them fall before. With broken bones you built it, but it crumbles board by board.
If all is fair in love and war, then what the hell is love and even for? If we can sing it loud enough, we'll keep on adding voices up.
Ring the bells, 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 ring the bells. This time I mean it. Bid the hatred fare thee well. Give back the pieces of my Jesus. Take your counterfeits to hell.
All right. You might think that's a weird way to start a Good Friday service, but not at Crossroads, not at Crossroads. So good evening. We did begin with that song, and we began with that song, and that song was chosen. We had big conversations about this, like how do we start this? And we went back and forth, but we started tonight with that song because it is a declaration. And we didn't start with that song because everything is well. How many of y'all know everything is not well? Right. But we started that song because we believe that love still speaks louder than hate at Crossroads. That song is a ringing of the bell. In fact, it is an act of faith, it's an act of protest, and it's an act of hope. And we begin this night in defiance of religious and political power that oppresses. And in that song, we actually proclaim something very true, something very profound, that we are not content to live with injustice. We are not content to let the beautiful meaning of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection be hijacked by politicians, by priests, or by pastors. We're here to reclaim the story, to ring the bell, to remember that even in the long, dark night of the soul, a song of justice and love can still rise. So tonight, we gather not to escape the darkness, but to acknowledge it. This is Good Friday, an evening that invites us to speak the truth about the injustices suffered by Jesus, about the suffering of the innocent ones that continues in our world, and about the ache that many of us carry quietly in our own lives and in our own bodies. In the Christian tradition, there is this phrase, you heard me say it a second ago, called the long, dark night of the soul. You should remember that. It's an important thing to remember for the opening of Easter. This phrase, the long, dark night of the soul, names those seasons of our lives where we feel abandoned, where hope feels thin, and when our prayers seem to go unanswered. We're not entering that night tonight. We're recognizing it, that we're in it. Many of us, we're naming it. We're sitting alongside of it, and we're sitting in it. And so this service, this gathering tonight is filled with music, and a lot of this music comes out of longing. It comes out of emptiness. The words of these songs kind of replace our voices at times when we don't know what to say or how to deal with it. This service brings us to a space of lament and tension. But we do come with hope. But tonight, our hope feels pressed against. We know somewhere in our minds, right, that the darkness cannot overcome the light. We know that here, but here is hard sometimes. Our hearts aren't always sure of it. And this is a night, these are songs that are for that kind of honesty. So I want to encourage you that as we kind of participate through absorption, like you might not know some of these songs. That's wonderful. That's fine. You might know some of them. You can sing if you know them. But tonight, just let the songs, let maybe the silence at times, let the dissonance of the moment speak. Let these songs hold your questions, your grief, and maybe even your resistance. And may you find that even here, right now, in the midst of your darkness, as we think and ponder, not necessarily with scriptures that we walk through the story of what actually happened this night or that night, but we gather in this space with the weight of the cross to say that God is not absent from the night. And so, as we begin, we want to name that. We want to name that there is darkness and there is weight. And we want to hold the space for some of you who embody that in the color of your skin, in the status of your citizenship. We want to hold the space that many of you wake up every moment feeling right now. That we see you, and in our oftentimes, maybe times that we have no idea what to say, but to just be present together and to allow the music to speak to our hearts. So, we're going to start with a heavy one. This song is called The Hymn for the 81%. It was written by Derek Webb in 2019. And he wrote this song as a prophetic word, as a lament. And he wrote it after 81% of white evangelical Christians voted in support of a political movement marked by exclusion, cruelty, and deception. And so this song, remember, it's not about partisanship, it's about accountability. Derek wrote this, and it's a cry of grief. As someone who watched his faith, the faith that he loved, be distorted to protect power and privilege rather than speak truth to power and privilege. So tonight, as we remember Jesus, who was falsely accused and tortured and executed legally by a coalition of power found in religion and politics, we need to also be really honest about how easily that same pattern repeats itself in our actions, in our country. And so we must confess that the name of Jesus is still being used to justify policies of exclusion, to marginalize the vulnerable, to bless violence and supremacy. And we have to say with courage and clarity, this is not the way of Christ. And so this song is a Good Friday song. It holds nothing back. It grieves a church that too often chooses empire over the cross. So I want to encourage you to let it shake you a bit, let it speak truth, and let it open a space of repentance in our hearts. I used to gather for Good Friday services, and the service would make me feel so grieved, and I would weep because of what I was told Jesus did for me. And these days I gather in these spaces, and now I grieve and I weep over the things that I've done for Jesus in my life. that had nothing to do with Jesus, but had everything to do with something I was handed and told and participated in. So here is the hymn for the 81%.
I grew up in your churches, Sunday morning, evening service, knelt in tears at the foot of the rugged cross. You taught me every life is sacred, feed the hungry, clothe the naked. I learned from you that the highest law is love. I believed you when you said well, I should trust the words in red to guide my steps through a wicked world. I assumed you'd do the same, so imagine my dismay when I watched you lead the sheep to the wolves. You said to love the lost, so I'm loving you now. You said to speak the truth, I'm calling you out. Why don't you live the words that you put in my mouth? May love overcome and justice roll down. Started putting kids in cages, ripping mothers from the babies. And I look to you to speak on their behalf. But all I heard was silence, or worse, you justified it, singing glory, hallelujah, raise the flag. Your fear turned to hatred, but you baptized it with language torn from the pages of the good book. You weaponized religion, and you wonder why I'm leaving to find Jesus on the wrong side of your walls. You said, love the lost, so I'm loving you now. You said to speak the truth, so I'm calling you out. Why don't you live the words that you put in my mouth? May love overcome and justice roll down. Better. You taught me better than this. Come home, come home. Oh, you're better than this. You taught me better than this. Come home, come home. Oh, you're better than this. You taught me better than this. Come home, come home. You said to love the lost, trying to love you now. You said to speak the truth, so I'm calling you out. I wish you'd live the words that you put in my mouth. May love overcome and justice roll down. May love overcome and justice justice roll down.
That really is the heart of Good Friday. What the cross brings us to is this desire and this vision of our tradition that the justice would roll down, that love would overcome, and that's the whole story of the weekend, really. So throughout the evening, some of these songs a lot of these songs have been chosen by folks that are up here. We wanted to do an evening where the music kind of flowed out of the experience of our musicians and some of our staff, and you'll hear other voices to talk about why these songs and why they made them think about Good Friday in their own journey. And Darren, who's going to lead us in this next song, chose this song. It's called Good People. So singing a song, Good People, on Good Friday. But you brought this song up in one of our production meetings a few months ago, Darren. Why? What about this song connected with you in this season of your life and as we think about Good Friday?
Yeah, so I was listening to this song just on a mixtape, and it kind of speaks to searching into the media for just watching a bunch of news, watching a bunch of shows, and just wondering where all the good people went. And it's really easy to get overwhelmed and just see a ton of scandals, and every time we turn on the news, there's just another story that's leading us to negativity about what our leaders are doing. And yeah, it's just really depressing. So this song really resonates with that. And when I think of where all the good people go, I think of people at Crossroads and how we are peacemakers, and we are the good people in the background, behind the scenes, just shining our light. So it just really takes it a step further to actually be those good people. So.
Well, you win, it's your show, so what's it gonna be? 'Cause people will tune. How many train wrecks do we need to see before we lose touch? Oh, we thought this was low. Well, it's back, getting worse. So where'd all the good people go? I've been changing channels, I don't see them on the TV shows. Where'd all the good people go? We got heaps and heaps of what we sow. We got this and that with a rat on the tack. Tested 1, 2, man, what you gonna do? Bad news, misuse, got too much to lose. Give me some truth now, whose side are we on? Whatever you say, turn on the boob tube. I'm in the mood to obey, so lead me astray. And by the way now, where'd all the good people go? I've been changing channels, I don't see them on the TV show. We got heaps and heaps of what we sow. Sitting around feeling far away. So far away, but I can feel the debris. Can you feel there? You interrupt me from a friendly conversation to tell me how great it's all gonna be. You might notice some hesitation. It's important to you, it's not important to me. Lay down by the edge of your reason. Well, it's beginning to show. All I really want to know is where all the good people go. I've been changing channels, I don't see them on the TV show. Where'd all the good people go? We got heaps and heaps of what we sow. We got this and that with a rat of the tack tested man to one. What you gonna do? Bad news, misuse. Give me some truth. You got too much to lose. Now whose side are we on? Today, every way. Okay, whatever you say. Wrong and resolute, but in the mood to obey. Station, desensitizing the nation. Going, gone.
Hello, Crossroads. Hey, it's good to be here tonight, isn't it? It is, yes. So I've been looking forward to sharing this next song with you. Are you ready for another depressing song? So several months ago, when I was hearing the things that our government is currently doing to immigrants, I suggested to Ryan that maybe we do this next song. It's called Deportees. It was written by the famous social protester and songwriter of the 1930s and 40s, Woody Guthrie. I've known this song for a long time. I've listened to it over the years, and it's always haunted me by its simplicity and by its really painful message. It's been covered by over 20 people. That should give you an idea of how important people think this song is. So if you just give me a few minutes, I'd like to give you the backstory to this song. I think that will help us to appreciate it even more. In World War II, our farmers and our orchard growers had lost their farm workers because they'd gone off to war. So the government started the Bracero program. This allowed farmer workers from Mexico to come to the States, harvest the crops, and then be returned back to Mexico safely and legally. So in 1948, a plane was loaded with braceros. They were finished with their work for the season, and they were heading back to Mexico. The plane caught fire over a canyon in Central California. It crashed and killed everyone on board. News of the crash spread throughout the country. It was in newspapers, it was on the radio. Woody Guthrie happened to be living in New York City at the time, and he heard the radio reporting about the crash. A reporter was asked, well, who was on the plane? The reporter quickly responded, well, he gave the name of the pilot, the co-pilot, and another crew member. He was then asked, well, who else was on the plane? The reporter said, they were just deportees. No names, just deportees. You know, one of the most human things we do is call each other by name, right? You know, it just feels good when somebody knows our name and they speak our name. But these people, they got no names. They were just deportees. Listen for that theme in this next song, because that's what led Woody Guthrie to write this song. Excuse me. Well, today, we have immigrants on planes again. But this time they're in shackles and chains, and they're not being sent back home. They're being sent to places they'd never heard of, many times to dangerous prisons. So things have changed, haven't they? I think you all remember, and we even saw it in the lyrics of one of the earlier songs. You remember several years ago when asylum seekers were coming across the border and they were put in cages. Children were taken away from their families. I don't know about you, but when I hear stories like this, I just want to hide. I don't want to think about it. And so I find I can maybe try and isolate myself and not think about it. After all, I mean, this is hundreds of miles away. It's down at our southern border. What does it have to do with me? I don't want to think about this. But let me tell you about something that's not hundreds of miles away. I've heard reports of children crying uncontrollably because they're afraid that their mother or their father or their grandmother or their grandfather, they're going to be deported and they will never see them again. Do you know where I heard that report? Right here in Loveland. Right here, not hundreds of miles away. And I think we all probably know that these kinds of stories are repeated just across all of our country. So, immigrants still don't have names. Well, maybe there's one name we know. If you're watching the news, we know the name of one fellow who was illegally sent to El Salvador, and we don't know if we're going to get him back. So no name still, but what we do have instead, we have name calling. From the highest levels of our government, immigrants are called murderers and rapists. I think our country is pretty well broken when it comes to this issue of immigration. This song reminds us that the roots of this problem go back many years. Deportees by Woody Guthrie.
The crops are all in, the peaches are rotting. The oranges are piled in their creosote dump. They're flying you back to the Mexico border to pay all your money to way back again. My father's own father, he waded in that river. They took all the money he made in his life. My brothers and sisters can't work in the fruit trees. They rode the trucks till they took down and died. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita, adios mi amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplanes here. Oh, they will go, you will be deported. Some of us are illegal and others not wanted. Our work contract's out and we have to move on. 600 miles to the Mexico border. They chased us like outlaws, like rustlers and thieves. We died in your hills and we died on your deserts. We died in your valleys, we died on your plains. We died in your trees and we died in your bushes. Both sides of the river, we died just the same. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita, adios mi amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplanes here. Oh, they will go, you will be deported. Well, that sky plane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon. Like a fireball of lightning that shook all our hills. And who are these friends all scattered like dry leaves? The radio says they are just deportees. Is this the best way we can grow our big orchards? Is this the best way we can grow our good fruit? To fall like dry leaves and rot on your topsoil and be known by no name except deportee. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita, adios mi amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplanes here. Oh, they will go, you will be deportee. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita, adios mi amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplanes here. Oh, they will go, you will be deportee. And oh, they will go, you will be deportee.
I have a heart full of questions, quieting all my suggestions. What is the meaning of Christian in this American life? I'm feeling awfully foolish, spending my life on a message. I look around and I wonder ever if I heard it right. Coming to you cause I'm confused, coming to you cause I feel used, coming to weep while I'm waiting. Tell me you won't make me go. I need to know there is justice, that it will roll in abundance, and that you're building a city where we arrive as immigrants, and you call us citizens, and you welcome us as children home. You were alone and rejected, misunderstood and detested. You gave it all, didn't hold back. You even gave up your life. How can we call ourselves Christian, saying that love is a tension between the call of the cross and between the all-party line? Coming to you for the mothers who are running for cover. There is a flood from the weeping. Tell me you won't make them go. I need to know there is justice, that it will roll in abundance, and that you're building a city where we arrive as immigrants, and you call us citizens, and you welcome us as children home. There is a man with a family. He has a wife and a baby. He broke the law just to save them, working for $3 an hour. Truly you said we were equal. Everyone here is deceitful. Everyone born is illegal, but love is the law of the land. Coming to you for the hungry, eating the scraps of this country. Didn't you swear you would feed them? Tell me you won't make them go. I need to know there's justice, that it will roll in abundance, and that you're building a city where we arrive as immigrants, and you call us citizens, and you welcome us as children home. There is a wolf who is ranting. All of the sheep, they are clapping, promising power and protection, claiming the Christ who was killed by a common consensus. Everyone screaming Barabbas, trading their God for a hero, forfeiting heaven for Rome. Coming to you cause I'm angry, coming to you cause I'm guilty, coming to you cause you promised to leave the flock for the one. I need to know there's justice, that it will roll in abundance, and that you're building a city where we arrive as immigrants, and you call us citizens, and you welcome us as children home, where we arrive immigrants, and you call us citizens. You welcome us as children home. Is there a way to love always, living in enemy hallways? Don't know my foes from my friends, and don't know my friends anymore. Power has several prizes, handcuffs can come in all sizes. Love has a million disguises, but winning is simply not one.
Well, when we were in the meeting, we said, well, the only song you can do after Deportees is Citizens.
Yeah.
You weren't too excited about that decision, though.
My heart is racing right now.
Yeah,
Like, this song wrecks me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, talk about that. Talk about the first time that we did the song here, and it's a hard song. Everything about that song is hard, right? It's in 5/4 if you're a
5/4.
musician, which is
Stupid. It's
ridiculous.
stupid.
I'm so grateful Drew was here to play it tonight. If
I
those of
made
you were here on
Ryan
the Sunday
play
that I
it.
had to play it.
The first time we did this was back in August.
Yeah.
And I love working with this man, right? So we have this funny relationship where, like, sometimes he'll give me a look. And I'm like, oh no. And he's like, you're going to hate what I'm going to tell you. Shoot. So, and that's exactly how you introduced the song to me. You're going to hate this.
Yeah.
And he said, there's this song, and it's called Citizens, and you played it. We played it in our meeting together, and I was like, sure, like, let's do it. And then as I was like living into it and listening to it, I was like, there's no way I can play this. So I said, Ryan, if you want this song, you're gonna play it. I cannot. I'm a good musician. I'm not that good. So that's kind of how the.
And then it's hard because I don't know, Drew, if you experienced this as you were learning it, but like, you have to take that song in pieces. Like, you can't just sit down and listen to that over. Because I remember the first time I heard this song, like, I was probably driving in the car and like, I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm like, yes, like, I'm angry, but I'm guilty. Oh no. Like, I'm swearing in the car and I'm like, what the? And I remember we practiced it a couple of times, and it was just like, okay, that's it. Like, we're not ready to do this, but you
Walk away.
you have to walk away from it.
Yeah, like at my process, like with any song that I bring, I kind of have to go on the emotional journey that the song takes, like in my practicing process of all of that. Because standing up here, leading worship is a super vulnerable thing, and even for me to like be having this conversation, I kind of want to go hide. So like, don't come talk to me afterwards, because I really just like, this is not fun for me. But it's a super vulnerable thing, and so like when I am feeling the emotion of a song and I'm like in front of people, that's super terrifying. And so, in some ways, I almost wonder if it's distracting. And everyone's like, oh, I love it when you fall apart during a song. I'm like, thanks. That's awesome. You're welcome. And so, but for certain songs, I have to take myself on that journey first and feel all of those things so I can just kind of like set that emotion aside so that when I am ready to perform a song in a public setting, my emotion doesn't distract from. And seriously, like as I was rehearsing the song in my own little piano that's completely out of tune, like getting all like teary-eyed and welled up, and like the song is written from a place of being inside the church and being an American Christian, and I'm like church girl, hi, I'm a pastor's kid, like this is the only thing that I know, right? And really just recognizing like there is something wrong with the way that we call ourselves Christians in this country as a whole, a total generalization, right? And so I feel like that's what Crossroads is trying to stand up against and say, hey, let's be real and let's look at the world around us and recognize that like Christ was killed by the same things that we're doing, that as a culture that we're doing. And so even like this song, we had to include it on this Good Friday service. I don't know if you caught that, but just those lyrics talking about everyone screaming Barabbas and like the power structure and comparing our country to the Roman Empire, and it's all right there. And just even singing about that is just like, ugh. So yeah, like my heart is still racing because that song is such like a gut punch. And that was kind of, as we were planning this whole service, we're like, what's the most gut punch song? Let's just make everyone weep.
Yeah.
Like,
I
so
forgot
this is
about
just
that
like-
lyric. Everyone's screaming.
Oh,
It brings
gosh,
up, on a
yeah.
night like this, it brings up a really big question, like, who is Barabbas? Right? Like, you know, there's this big theological concept of the scapegoat, which we don't have to get into, but that's what that story is about. It's not about a historical Barabbas. It's about a scapegoat moment. Like, somebody's got to stay and take the punishment, but somebody can be released. And so you think about, like, who's Barabbas in this moment? Like, who takes the guilt away from us? Who do we have to exclude, right? As a culture, as a church, as an individual. And that's the thing I like about, I don't know, Drew, if you felt this, like, playing that song, your hands are just, like, nonstop. And it's almost like how your thoughts can get going with, like, and it doesn't, the thing about that song that I find so powerful is it doesn't push me to the other, it pushes me to me. Like,
It's
it
a
pushes
mirror.
me to
It
me.
holds a mirror.
Yeah, like, I'm like, oh man, like, how do I call myself? Like, what am I doing to participate in this? Because the most dangerous space that we could ever be in, I think, is to say the problem's out there, right? That somebody else is like, I'm deporting somebody. I don't know it right now. But if I choose to believe that, then I can somehow maybe come to the table with a sense of humility, right? And I can go, okay. And that's part of, like, the whole journey that many people are going through right now in religion and in religious spaces, is kind of recognizing, wait a second, like, something isn't working anymore in my heart and my life. And that's kind of what this next song speaks to. And this is fascinating. This comes from an artist who has done a project of taking hymns and rewriting them.
I haven't listened to any of them.
Yeah,
He
which
sent
is-
me a whole bunch. He's like,
yeah.
yeah, you're a little busy this week.
I know.
Gives
I'm
you
the
songs
worst
to
ever.
listen. I'm like, yeah.
But, like, and what's fascinating about this is if you've grown up in the church, like you did, I mean, we grew up in the church, pastors' kids,
Every Sunday.
literally in the church. Like, these are songs
Eating
you
the
knew,
communion that was left over.
right? And then all of a sudden you hear this, like, this song I first heard, Wendy's my spouse, Wendy had it on a playlist, and we were driving somewhere. I don't even remember where we were going. And all of a sudden it started playing, and I was like, what is that? And, like, I didn't want to talk about it because it was, I mean,
You were
Wendy was in
driving
the
again.
car, and I was going to be like, whoop, Waterworks, and I don't want, like, Wendy freaking out, but I just had to make a mental note. There's a song on her playlist I have to go back to.
Wendy's like the sleeper song.
Oh, yeah.
finder.
A lot of the songs you hear
Totally.
here that
Just
you
go
don't,
thank
like,
her.
where did that come from?
Just go thank
9
Wendy.
times out of 10, it came from Wendy.
I'm not a good song finder.
Yeah, she's the queen of playlists on Spotify. And this song for me, as I was kind of working through this experience yesterday, getting notes down, and I was playing the music, I'm downstairs in my basement, and this song comes on, and it's like I'm hearing it again for the first time. Nobody's around, I'm crying. Because it's like, wow, this, like, somebody reached into my gut and my heart and my soul, and they put into words, like, what's happened to me over the last 15 years of my life. Where my life, I feel like so many that I get to talk to as I look around here, so many of you that we've sat down and talked and you've shared your stories so courageously, is to know that there's an exodus that's taking place. But it's I think it's really beautiful. Because I think it's healthy, and it's hard, and it's scary. I know it is for some of you. These are like tears from the stories, you know, of friendships and pain and hurt. And what I was thinking about as I heard the song again was like, wow, this is like this Exodus, and the beauty and the story of the Exodus and the leaving and this tyrannical Pharaoh. And I thought, but that was the God I was handed. Was more like Pharaoh. You've got to build, and you've got to do, and you've got to serve in my army, and you have to do all these things. And there just came this moment for so many, and it's coming into people's lives of like, that can't be it. And then what, but if that's not it, what do I do with all my experiences that are real and genuine while I was in Egypt? What do I do with all those moments that I had with family and even my Egyptian neighbors and my friends? Like, what do I do with all those things? And then this song comes and kind of gives voice to, like, there's something beautiful about the tune of the hymn that speaks to beautiful memories and experiences that can live on, but resurrected, right? That I can crucify and I can lay to rest God, right? A God that I was handed. I've had conversations with some of you, and I give you this line, and everybody I say this to when we have coffee or whiskey or whatever, some of you are like, I thought you just said that to me. But some people will tell me, like, I don't know what to do, like this God and this and that. And I'll say, well, sometimes God has to die on a cross so that a better God can be resurrected. And that's really what this story is about, the beauty is about. And this is a song, I think, that speaks to that truth of I have to let go and I have to let the cross happen to God so that I can walk into something beautiful. And it's the experience that many in this room are having, that many around our country are having, many around the world. So this song is called...
And Ryan, I think, like, before
Yeah.
cramping your style.
No.
But I think this is like, speaks to who Crossroads is as a community, truly.
Yeah.
Like, I have said this to you, like, this is my last bus stop.
Yeah.
Like, if something happened and I wasn't able to participate in this community for whatever reason, like, I would be just fine walking away from the church. And I feel like this song, I think I said it in one of our meetings when we were talking about this, it's like a Crossroads super song, I feel
Yeah.
like, because it really just speaks to the nature of this community, and it is a beautiful hymn, and it does harken back to we come from a rich tradition, and it's not, we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right?
Yeah.
But we are rebirthing something beautiful here in this community, and so I feel like this song really embodies that.
Yeah, absolutely. True colors.
I was lost in utter darkness. I was trapped in toxic shame. I was bound by my religion till I chose to break away. Now I'm finding my true colors. For the first time I feel free. Now I'm learning self-compassion. As I heal, I'm finding peace. Ooh, I kept others at a distance, those who lived life differently, saw the world through right or wrong, but they're all humans just like me. I stepped out and love expanded us and then melted away. Beauty found in every difference. As I listen, I'm amazed. I saw danger in my questions. I took captive all my thoughts. Certainty was my salvation. till I questioned what was taught. Now my eyes are wide in wonder, mind set free now to discern. I might not have all the answers, but I have all this life to learn.
So we were sitting in the meeting, kind of thinking about this a few months ago, and
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, we actually ran into each other there.
You're like Judah and the Lions.
And I was like, hey. But it is. But also is it? Yeah. Totally, absolutely, absolutely. And yes, I've got my cheat sheet here. I'm sorry, it's not a promise. I wasn't being lazy. Some of you are like, man, this guy, he's staring at his phone. Didn't care enough to like memorize his speech or something. So this is me keeping myself accountable so that I don't talk and talk and talk and talk. And I was telling Pastor Ryan, wow, how do you squeeze your sermons into like 25 minutes? And he said, I don't. I ignore the timer. It's like. Oh yeah, I say, yeah, grew up in church, I think. Who's he talking about? Sorry, Ryan. Yeah, I know. I've got some. Anyway, but yeah, to answer your question, well, actually, first, I have a question. Is anybody here type A, very structured? You like schedules? You like no one? No, wait, oh, yes. Okay, yes. Thank you. Okay, I feel seen now. Oh, there's a lot more hands than I thought would come up. Thank you. Okay, me too. Anyone close to me would say the same thing. They'd be like, I love the schedule. I love structure. I know exactly where we're going. I've got, I work in aviation, so I've got pilot brain. I like to know every step of the way, like feed me every bit of information. So that being said, I have to admit before you all that this next song does make me feel like a really big hypocrite, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. This is coming from a person who has had a lifelong struggle with control and trying to, and fear and worry about the future and what's going to happen, what's going on, what's going to happen to all of us. And when Kia and Ryan approached me, I see him growing. It was hard to narrow down the songs, but I ran into Ryan at a Judah and the Lions concert, which they were touring an album called The Process, and it's all about the process of grief, starting with denial, and it goes into anger, and then bargaining, depression, and then you move on to acceptance. And I felt like, man, that's perfect for Good Friday. That's going to resonate. It's more depressive music, but sometimes music is therapeutic, and I really hope that you guys feel better leaving than you did when you came in tonight. And so this song is the bargaining process, and it has to do with surrender. Again, hypocrite, sorry, coming from me who struggled with surrender. And that sounds like a churchy word, right? This is a struggle to let go. And on Good Friday, I like to think about how Christ came into the world when it was in utter chaos, to bring us peace, hope, and restoration. I know they sound like buzzwords, but this is in the midst of our grief and anxiety comes what I believe is the ultimate solution. And religion says you need to do this, you need to do that, but Christ said, I did it. It's done for you. And I feel like there's a lot of peace and rest in that. This next song is about being stuck in bargaining with the past. It's being unable to let go of the past, unable to stay in the present, and being too scared of the future. There's a line in the first verse, and it says, "I'm scared to death. I'm so scared, I'm too afraid to live." And if we live in constant fear of the future, trying to control every little thing, and we dwell on our past, on our what-ifs, and we're too scared of the future with our if-onlys, then we're going to be robbed of all of our joy. When I was growing up in church, Matthew 6:34 was extremely comforting to me. It's the verse that says, "Don't worry about tomorrow. Each day has enough trouble of its own." So if that resonates with anybody, I hope it encourages you. If you're hurting, if you're grieving, I see you. I hope you're okay. And I hope you find comfort in these words. And I hope I can make it through this song. And anyway, this is called "Is What It Is." I don't know what any of this means, or why we go through so many things. I'm scared to death and too afraid to live. So me and my friends just talk about the aliens. Breathe in, breathe out, my 2 feet on the ground. Breathe in, breathe out, my 2 feet on the ground. It is what it is, wasn't meant to happen any other way, 'cause it did. It doesn't really matter what you wanted in the end, when it is what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It is what it is, wasn't meant to happen any other way, 'cause it did. It doesn't really matter what you wanted in the end, when it is what it is, 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 love. And one thing I know is I don't got any answers. Try to stay in the moment, I get lost in forever. And I don't know if it ever gets better. It's why old men just talk about the weather. So breathe in and breathe out, my 2 feet on the ground. And breathe in and breathe out, my 2 feet on the ground. It is what it is, wasn't meant to happen any other way, 'cause it did. It doesn't really matter what you wanted in the end, when it is what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It is what it is, wasn't meant to happen any other way, 'cause it did. It doesn't really matter what you wanted in the end, when it is what it is, 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 love. It is what it is, wasn't meant to happen any other way, 'cause it did. It doesn't really matter what you wanted in the end, when it is what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It is what it is, wasn't meant to happen any other way, 'cause it did. When you're looking back, try giving less of a shit, when it is what it is, 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 love.
Sometimes one of the things I think is great about our church, and I think it's been a part of Crossroads since its beginning, is that it just seeks to be an authentic, real space that could exist at someone's home, in their car, and on the radio, and in here, and that we don't try to live kind of a split-souled life. So if you go back, for those of you that maybe were here when Lent started, we launched Lent season with the song Man in the Mirror, and we're going to finish there. So we launched this season of reflection, recognizing that it has to start with us. That if we think of this season as a time to reflect on an event, as a time to celebrate something that someone did for us a long time ago, instead of reflecting on something that happened that reveals what continually happens, we miss it. And we said, as we launched the series, Love is Louder, that we had to take responsibility for looking at ourselves and saying, how can I live? How can I live out love? How can I, in my everyday normal life, take a hold of what this story means and what this season is all about? And so that's where we want to finish, with an invitation to leave the cross, to enter in, to think about Easter and the resurrection, all that things, but to leave recognizing that to gaze upon the cross is to gaze upon the injustices of the world that we participate in, that we have participated in, that happen without our knowing, that while it is what it is, love calls us into those spaces. And that while Randy said, sometimes we just want to pretend that it's miles and hundreds and miles away, and it's just easier, and many of us have that kind of privilege that we could if we wanted to, but we follow a way that was paved by one who gave up every privilege to demonstrate what love is. And that's the invitation. So if we want to see justice, if we want to see the unacceptable truths rewritten that we talk about here, it starts with our personal choices. It starts with my actions, my reflections, my change. Here's the man in the mirror.
Gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle door, and a one-man soul. We follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they've got nowhere to go.
That's why I want you to know I'm starting with that man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer.
If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Na 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 na. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there are some with no home, not a nickel to loan. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A willow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern of the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be.
That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with that man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take
take a look at yourself and then make the change. I'm starting with that man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that. I'm starting with that man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make the change. You gotta get it right when you got this time, 'cause when you close your heart, then you close your
Mind.
Arrived. I want to thank everybody. Thank you to those of you that made food tonight, that you brought a piece of love from your home to share with everyone this evening. This was our communion. We had communion tonight. You might not have realized it, but you did. Probably the most authentic communion that you'll ever have when we gather to remember and reflect on this beautiful story, the message, the life of Jesus. And so we snuck communion in on you with soup and salad and bread. And so thank you to everyone who made that, brought that in. I want to thank everybody who helped organize that, to feed everyone so that nobody would be waiting around forever. I want to thank all of you all, musicians, for this is a busy week, and you've been practicing and rehearsing, and some of you are going to be back up here on Sunday playing. So thank you, Kia. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all of our kids workers. There are a lot of kids here tonight, and we don't know that because we're in here, but they do. So make sure you thank a kids volunteer this evening. So we have a blessing for you as you head out. If you want to join me, stand if you're able to. If you want to lift your arms to receive this Good Friday blessing. I want to encourage you to do first what that song that Drew said is to just put 2 feet on the ground. Feel your feet, feel the ground connected to this earth. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. May the weight of this night settle not only in your heart, but also in your bones. A holy heaviness that refuses to let you turn away. And may you carry the memory of Jesus unjustly tried, violently executed, crushed beneath the fear of those in power, and may that memory move you to stand with the crucified of today. And when your night feels long, when your hope is pressed thin, when it feels and it seems that injustice is winning, may you not grow weary. May you persevere, not by numbing the ache, but by allowing it to shape your love and sharpen your resolve. So go now, not with easy answers, but with courageous questions. Go with tenderness, go with anger, go with longing. Go ready to mourn and ready to move. Go, knowing that even in the long, dark night of the soul, you are not alone, and the light is not gone. Amen. We'll see you Sunday.
Last Sunday.
Awesome. Let's have a couple times.
It's a long time. Yeah.
I got everything perfect.